Welcome back to the Newsmakers. Catalonia's ousted leader, Carles Puigdemont, is likely to once again become the Catalan president. It's set to be a stunning political comeback that's expected to send Spain into further turmoil. The pro-independent Speaker of the Catalan Parliament, who proposed Puigdemont, says he's the only nominee. And this is despite the fact he's been living in self-imposed exile in Belgium since October. The central government in Madrid insists if he returns home, he'll be arrested on charges of sedition and rebellion, which all stem from his declaration of Catalan independence last year. The question is, just one of the questions, if Puigdemont does become president again, what power will he have and can he rule from abroad? And joining me now from Barcelona, Irina Álvarez-Sánchez, an executive board member of the pro-unity Societat Civil Catalana. Also in Barcelona is the author Elizabeth Castro, who's a pro-independence political analyst. Thank you to both of you for your time. Elizabeth Castro, let's start with you. What is the point of nominating Carles Puigdemont to be the next president of Catalonia when he held that previous position? It all went horribly wrong.
Because of democracy, because Carles Puigdemont is the person that was elected, was chosen by a majority of the Catalan people on December 21st in elections that were incredibly unfair, with Puigdemont himself being forced into exile in Belgium, charged with sedition and rebellion for fulfilling a democratic mandate from the people on September 27th, 2015. The reason for the Catalan Speaker of the Parliament to propose Puigdemont as a candidate is because that's what the people want. That's how democracies work. When you vote for a candidate, that's what you get.
No, but his party didn't win the most seats in the Catalan Parliament, did it? That was Ciudadanos, and Ciudadanos is not as rabidly pro-independence as Carles Puigdemont's party.
No, it's quite rabidly unionist, in fact. There's 7 parties in the Catalan Parliament, and none of them have a majority to form a government. But in fact, the pro-independence forces between them, which is a broad coalition from right to left, which is very interesting for creating a new country, and it represents a broad swath of society, not just the far right of Ciudadanos and the PP, do have a majority to form a government. In fact, they're the only coalition of parties that can form a government in Catalonia. It is a complete slap in the face of Mariano Rajoy, the leader of the PP, who called elections illegally, dissolved the Catalan Parliament, way overstepped Article 155 of the Constitution, which only allows for temporary solutions to force an autonomous or regional government to obey Madrid. It does not allow for dissolving a parliament. It does not allow for calling new elections on the whim of the president of Spain, which only had, at the time, 8% of the, represented only 8% of Catalan voters, and now represents even less, 4% of Catalan voters. In a democracy, you have to listen to the people. And the majority of the people in Catalonia want Carles Puigdemont to be president. That's why he should be the candidate.
Oh, okay, Liz, you're going over history, so let's put that historical point, even though it is recent history, to Irina Sánchez. Irina Sánchez, do you agree that Mariano Rajoy, the Spanish Prime Minister, overstepped the mark when he dissolved the Catalan Parliament?
Well, he did not dissolve the parliament. He changed the head of the government because the government has finished to be an autonomous government, and they have declared the independence that was completely outside the constitution and outside the statutory law of Catalonia. So as they were outside the legality, we need a government for the competences we have in Catalonia. Maybe that was the only reason. The parliament has not been dissolved. He has convoked a new election as a demonstration of the power is in the citizens, as everywhere in democracy.
Okay,
but,
okay, listen, he called it,
far away from what's democracy.
He called a new election. The result is almost exactly the same. Yeah. Pro-independence parties have the majority. Nothing has changed. Mariano Rajoy's idea has failed.
They have. No. They have the majority of the seats, but they don't have the majority of the voting. 52%, as it happened in 2015, come from non-independent parties. In fact, the most voted party was Ciudadanos, and the representatives of the people who does not want independence, who is against this way of independence, is more than half of the people.
Okay, Liz, Irene is saying the pro-independence parties don't hold sway in the Catalan Parliament. Does that mean they won't get their way? They don't have a majority?
Well, it means she counts funny. It means that Ms. Sanchez, who's from an organization that was begun. I think the question was for me.
Yes, Liz, carry on.
And Sanchez, she represents an organization that was begun by Rajoy's right-hand man, Moragas, would obviously be, agree with Rajoy. But the truth is that the pro-independence candidates won 47 point something of the vote, and the Unionists only won 44%. So they don't have more. And there's a number of voters who don't want to position themselves as yes or no. They're actually pro-sovereignty voters. They believe that we should have an official binding referendum on independence, but as a party, they don't want to position themselves. So, in fact, if you look at the representation in the parliament, there is a majority in favor of independence. That's why we have the votes to form a government with Carles Puigdemont as the president, and that's why Ciudadanos does not, and hasn't even attempted to form a government, because they don't have the majority in the votes, they don't have a majority in the seats. They didn't win. They're the party that marginally got a few more votes as a single party, but as a coalition, they're nothing.
Okay, Liz, what about the practicalities? If Puigdemont were to become the president, as his nomination suggests will probably happen, and he's living in exile somewhere else in Europe, how is he going to govern Catalonia from afar?
Well, it's complicated. I mean, it's really a shame that Spain refuses to recognize what the people want. Spain imposed these elections. The Catalan independentists won these elections as a group, and we want Puigdemont to be the president. Unfortunately, Spain has threatened Puigdemont with jail if he returns, just like the vice president, who's currently in jail on charges of sedition and rebellion, which require violence, even in the Spanish code. And there has been no violence. In the report from the judge, it specifically says Junqueras has not been found to have caused any violence. He has not asked for anybody to be violent, and yet we think that maybe someday he will. And excuse me, I'm not finished. So Puigdemont should be able to come back, because he has this problem requires a political solution. It requires negotiation. It does not require trumped-up charges to put democratic leaders in jail just for fulfilling their political mandate.
Okay, Irene.
I have to make clear that the government has not put in prison nobody, because they don't have the possibility of doing it. As in all democracies, it's the judges who decides who goes to prison and who does not. Puigdemont, for the moment, is called to declare besides a tribunal, and he has not come. He's not in prison at all. I don't understand why some said that the government has put somebody in prison. It's not true, really. They don't have the power to do it, as it happens in all the democracies. That's the division of powers.
Okay, what is the way out of the mess, Irene? Because Puigdemont will be arrested if he comes back to Spain. Junqueras, as Liz is saying, is still in prison, and he could be on trial for rebellion and sedition. What is the way out of the mess?
No, Puigdemont is not arrested if he comes. He's called to go beside a tribunal, and the tribunal will decide what happens. There were other people who, at the same time as Junqueras, went beside the tribunal, and they are not in prison at that moment.
Yes, but the Spanish government has just requested...
But they are not
Irene, the Spanish government has just requested for the European arrest warrant to be reissued for Carles Puigdemont. It clearly wants to arrest him. What is the solution?
No, there is not a Euro order. He is now at that moment he's in
negotiation.
Denmark, and nobody is going to arrest him. He's at that moment he's in Denmark at the university, and he's freely giving a conference.
Okay.
I don't know why
okay.
you
The
say
line,
League of
the line
Europe.
from the Spanish government is that they want that arrest warrant to be reissued. Irene Sanchez, Liz Castro, both of you in the city of Barcelona. This is a thorny issue. Thank you very much for discussing it with us on the Newsmakers.